RM1, it's 9 o'clock. The news presented by Aries Stewart. Good morning, Aries.
Good morning, Sophie.
The headlines.
Heavy rain watch issued as unstable atmospheric conditions bring risk of localized downpours and isolated thunderstorms across Mauritius. Ajay Ganesh insists there is no tension as MMM Labour Alliance holds firm following high-level meetings between party leaders. 7 billion rupee money laundering probe deepens as Mami Rawatomang is placed in custody amid courtroom tensions and health complications. Legal twist in Rawatomang case as Dr. Faisal Timol testifies on Junaid Fakim's worsening condition. Shockwave in the cultural sector as Richard Hay is removed as Maza president after weeks of internal friction and growing governance concerns. In world news, Kazakhstan's expected entry into the Abraham Accords marks strategically significant move in US efforts to expand influence in Central Asia. And in sports news, Mardalbea swimming pool set to reopen this Sunday after major renovation works. We start this morning with weather following the Mauritius Meteorological Station issuing a heavy rain watch at 4:30 a.m., valid until 4 p.m. this afternoon. Atmospheric conditions remain humid and unstable, favoring the formation of rather active clouds around the island. According to the communiqué from the meteorological services, localized showers, sometimes moderate to heavy, are expected during the day, with a risk of isolated thunderstorms. The public is therefore advised to take all necessary precautions. And on to news making headlines. Ajay Ganesh stated yesterday afternoon that it was a very good meeting between 5 MMM members and 3 Labour Party members as he left the MMM's political bureau meeting in Ambrose Rose Hill. Yesterday, Paul Béranger had a meeting with the Prime Minister, Dr. Navin Ramgoolam, for discussions. The MMM will indeed be present at the cabinet meeting this Friday with its leader, Paul Béranger, in attendance, and there is no tension, according to Ajay Ganesh. And still on this subject, yesterday was indeed particularly tense and eventful for long hours. The alliance between the Labour Party and the MMM was said to be hanging by a thread, but in the end it was Paul Béranger's closest party members who managed to convince him to change his mind. More details from Jean-François Lecning in this report voiced over by Ashi Batu.
Patrick Assirvaden had told us the other day there is nothing serious. Arvin Boulel added, no break, no crack. Yet in the corridors, rumours were spreading quickly. Friction, tension, disagreements, points of contention, and they concerned several issues. Notably, a communication gap between the two partners, appointments that are slow to be formalized, delays on certain files considered priorities, but the main sticking point was the pressure exerted by Paul Béranger to have certain heads roll, systematically the Reds. If the MMM leader managed to make Navin Ramgoolam a give-in when it came to Ramasitanen at the Bank of Mauritius and then Kishore Bigu at Air Mauritius, he would, however, not get the dismissal of the Commissioner of Police, Rampersad Sorojbali, and even less that of the junior Minister of Finance, Daneshwa Damri, considered close to Navin Ramgoolam. Yesterday, some MMM insiders were speaking of a point of no return, saying that Paul Béranger had made up his mind to leave the government. It took the full persuasive force of his closest collaborators to make him reconsider, some openly warning the leader that he risked ending up isolated. At 3 p.m., Paul Béranger arrived at the Prime Minister's office. For a one-on-one with Navin Ramgoolam, it's impossible to know what the two men discussed. One thing is certain, the meeting lasted an hour. At 5 p.m., Paul Béranger was on Ambrose Street in Rosehill for the MMM's political bureau meeting. Although the faces were tense as members arrived, they were more relaxed on the way out, where to the cheers of a few loyal supporters, Secretary General Ajay Ganesh seemed pleased to confirm the presence of the MMM members at today's cabinet meeting.
It's a case that has been attracting attention since 13 October, the alleged money laundering of 7 billion rupees involving businessman Mami Rawatomang. The suspect appeared before the Port Louis court yesterday afternoon after nearly 2 hours of questioning at the Red Triangle in the morning. After several hours of hearings marked by tense exchanges and medical twists, Magistrate Prashant Bisoon delivered his ruling. The Malagasy national has been placed in police custody until 13 November. a verdict that surprised the defense, but while en route to his cell, Mami Ravatumango's health deteriorated. Pranav Bihari and Anjali Siratan-Pulchan tell us more.
Before leaving the Port Louis court under heavy police escort, Mami Ravatumang was examined by his medical team inside the courtroom itself. And on the way to the undisclosed location of his detention, the Malagasy businessman complained about his health, prompting the police to escort him to the nearest hospital, that is G2 Hospital. At the same time, outside the courthouse entrance, the tense expressions of his lawyers spoke volumes. Siddharth Hawaldar and Kushal Lobin clearly did not expect such a decision, despite their statements to the press after the hearing suggesting otherwise. In addition to police custody, Magistrate Prashant Bisun ordered that the businessman be prohibited from leaving Mauritian territory without the court's approval. The hearing began at 1:35 p.m. His legal team requested that the provisional charges be struck out and that their client not be interrogated for more than 4 consecutive hours, invoking medical reasons. FCC Investigations Supervisor Danny Chengyan explained in court that nearly 10,000 pages of financial documents had already been collected as part of the investigation, a colossal amount of work that, according to him, will require time. The proceedings, suspended shortly before 2:30 p.m., resumed about 30 minutes later with the testimony of Mami Ravatumang's treating physician. Magistrate Prashant Bisun sought further clarification regarding the suspect's health condition. Dr. Hanif Yaru stated that his patient suffers from vasospastic angina, an illness that can be fatal, he noted, as it causes spasms in the coronary artery. Despite this medical opinion, the court ruled no bail for now. By last night, the businessman had been admitted to the coronary care unit of the capital's public hospital. We understand that he wished to be transferred to a private clinic, but the FCC opposed this request.
Meanwhile, the next hearing has been set for 27 November when the defense will present its arguments in an attempt to strike out the provisional charges. And still in the Ravatumang case, the treating physician of Junaid Fakim, Dr. Faisal Timol, testified in court yesterday regarding the lawyer's state of health. He is still hospitalized at a Sikher Welkin clinic. He explained that Junaid Fakim's condition worsened after a fall, and he is now being followed by 2 other doctors who have been assigned to testify on his health condition on 11 November. And at the request of the FCC, Junaid Fakim will also be examined by public sector doctors. And in other news, in a decision that is shaking the Mauritian cultural and musical world after several weeks of internal tensions, President Richard Hayne has been removed from office. While officially this is to restore transparency and sound governance within MAZA, the reasons behind this dismissal go far beyond the official narrative, according to information obtained so far. And it's 9:09. You're listening to RM1, where we move to international news. US President Donald Trump said on Thursday that Kazakhstan will join the Abraham Accords to normalize relations between Israel and Muslim-majority nations. The announcement came after Trump said he had held a call with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Kazakhstan's President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. Kazakhstan already has full diplomatic relations and economic ties with Israel, meaning the move would be largely symbolic. Trump met Tokayev alongside 4 other Central Asian leaders at the White House on Thursday as the United States seeks to gain influence in a region long dominated by Russia and increasingly courted by China.
Les actus sportives.
And finally, in sports news, where we head to Mont d'Albert, where the swimming pool is finally reopening its doors after several months of renovation works. The official inauguration will be held this Sunday, 9 November at 10 a.m. in the presence of the Minister of Youth and Sports, Devin Nagalingam, and several guests. Activities are also planned to mark this reopening. That's all from me this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay tuned now until